So this is being recorded in multiple ways. That means don't say anything stupid. Stuff your grandmother wouldn't want you to say. Please don't do it because there's no control over what goes on the internet. We're not really supposed to say any secrets anyway, but if you do volunteer something and it sounds sort of private, just don't be a jerk. Just kind of keep it to yourself. Again, letting more and more people in. We're talking about the combination of multiple AIs, which some of you may have done already. I'm going to just show a couple of techniques that I've put together that really, I can't say that I invent them. I think ideas are in the air. I want to just share that. If the Wright brothers weren't around to invent the airplane, would none of us fly to Portugal? I said that for a couple of people's benefit here, but that really is the question that I have. If the Wright brothers at that moment didn't invent the airplane, would it ever have been invented? And the answer is yes. It's called technological determinism. Why was the airplane invented? The airplane was invented because the world was ready for an airplane at that particular time. The technology had risen to the level where two guys that owned a bicycle shop were able to put this together. This is what we're actually getting at right now with AI, which is why we're seeing technology after technology coming out. And today, most of you have probably heard of ChatGPT. We'll talk a little bit about that, but we're really going to be talking about Claude, which you might not have heard of. Perplexity, it's another one, and we're going to get right down into it. I'm just looking for if there's a couple other folks that need to come in. Any questions before we get started? And you're welcome to jump in and out of this. This is a hop on, hop off bus. I won't make any of you speak, but you're always welcome to kind of chime in. And lastly, if you could just check and see if you're unmuted and the phone's ringing, I will make a mockery of the people that you're talking to if you're unaware of it. That's called a hot mic, and that's happened to every president and every single person who's a public speaker eventually. And it will be a bit of a mockery, but it will be done in good fun. So, with all that said, let's get started. Um, where's Daniel? Daniel make it here yet? I think he's trying to get in. Up there he is.
Hi everyone, good morning.
Hey everyone, the wizard behind the curtain, Daniel. He runs my show here. Daniel, have you given everyone the workbook?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you put it back in the chat for everyone to download?
Sure.
Okay, guys, we're selling this online for about 48 bucks, so I suggest you take it for free from us right now because this really does help. Okay, so let me just go through what some of this actually is. I will share my screen once I pull this thing up. No, not either. Sorry, guys. Oh, here we go. Okay, I will share my screen now and we will begin to go through all this stuff. Okay, great. So this is the workbook. You should see it. Nice AI generated image of me. I'm missing my turkey neck in person. I look a little bit older. And we're going to talk about this. The power of two, why two beats one, meaning two different AIs. The Perplexity Claude workflow. Perplexity is phenomenal at research, as is Claude. I mean, people have said, can you do this with one? The answer is sure. I just think that you get a better result by combining the two, which is why we're going to talk a little bit about this. We're also going to get into some of the competitive analysis and how we go about doing it. We'll get into Claude and talk about how we can now give an address, find out who lives at that address and other surrounding neighborhood areas, and then not only make one email, but a 5 email drip campaign for that particular person in that particular property. See, right now, the biggest challenge that we have is personalization. AI has shattered that just this month. So I think that that's going to be really great stuff. We're going to talk also about using this to create CMAs, which I think is really important, as well as taking some of the data and putting it into a format that you would like. Let me give you just a couple of examples. And sorry, there's just too much stuff on my screen, just to show you the actual output. So Terry Robeson, who I don't think is here, he's in Brooklyn, and using Claude, I put together the top Brooklyn restaurants for business meetings, and it actually made a chart which you could really use to actually make reservations at this. This was done instantaneously, And it's something that he's now posting on his Facebook and sending out as social media and changing it up every now and then. Again, this technology was not available to you a month ago. So it's really brand new stuff. Or we did something in Delray Beach. I did that for Dina. So Dina Ulrich's Big Picks this week in Delray. And once again, she was able to take this great content, or I did it for her, and it gave a whole interactive chart that you're going to be able to do, an opportunity to call them, an opportunity to see the website. And the only thing that I would really do more so is make more of a plug for her. Dina approved, Dina's watch list. So it's making you more of a personality within the space. Again, I wanted to just get to the fun part first because I know a lot of you might show some impatience with this. But let's just take a quick peek at Claude, and I'll give you a great example here. Um, on the first chapter of the workbook, when you do get to it, this is what we're going to do with Claude, with Perplexity. We're going to enter into a very simple prompt, uh, a market analysis. We'll call it market. Um, oh, hold on. No, sorry, guys. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to do a little prompt, market analysis. What are the current luxury real estate trends uh, affecting South Florida? Include buyer preferences, popular amenities, design trends, and price segments. Never mind if there's a typo or two. I'm trying to go through this pretty quickly. So this is an actual prompt that's in your workbook. You don't need to write it down. It's there for you to utilize. And you see Perplexity goes nuts. I want to slow this down a little bit. If you take a look closely, you'll see it's actually researching multiple sources here. The Sklar team, there's the Well Concierge. It's searching both news sites as well um, as some individual brokers or other people. So here it is. It's coming up with continued wealthy out-of-state buyers, diverse demographics, community and wellness. So it's giving what it's actually thinking: waterfront access, direct ocean, no kidding, resort outdoor living, again, no kidding. I'm trying, every now and then it comes up with some really great things that I won't say you're not kidding to, but it does put this in an order that makes a lot of sense. Great. Neighborhood hotspots. It's talking about all this, talking about the buyer profile. And what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to actually copy it and I'm going to go back to Claude with it now. I promised you that you're going to be able to do this. And I'm going to say to Claude, based on these market trends, develop a strategy, positioning strategy uh, sorry, develop a unique positioning strategy uh, for my real estate practice. Include messaging. And by the way, guys, you could make this anything you want, but I'm just giving you what my prompt is. Target client profile
You got a typo there.
and service differentiation. It doesn't matter. Where's the typo? Include messaging, target client profile. What were you saying?
The
Profile.
word develop, you got develop.
Okay, it's fine. Yeah, the good news, this spells I don't, but here we go. So now Claude's going to go back out. It's searching the web. Oh, one other thing. There we go. So now it's coming up with all sorts of data that actually matters to us. The luxury lifestyle architect. I don't just sell luxury homes, I architect complete lifestyles. Okay, I kind of like that. Target client profile. It's not only taking the research that we did, but it's expanding upon the research. It's like putting your two greatest professors together to try and get an even better answer out of it, which is wicked cool in my opinion. It's going on with the target client net worth 5 to 50 million. Okay, I agree with it. I don't know if Domingos agrees with it, but I think that's pretty cool. It's going the secondary segment of what I might be going after. And now it's created all this great content. Okay, great, Ed, but what the heck do we do with this content? What are we doing with all this type of type of stuff? We could take it a step further and we could say, if we go in here and we go to Bogen Homes, oops, we go to Bogen Homes, and I'm just going you through what you would be doing. I could go about the team, and I could take this bio, stuff it right in there. Please take this information and write a blog post about this content. So I'm going to put that in. I'm even going to go back and get a little bit more. Why not get more of me? Because I am the leader of the team. So I might as well do that. And we could take all this. I want you to notice that, and Kenny was pointing it out, well, there's a spelling mistake. AI is very forgiving about that. You know, you can make mistakes and just literally dump data after data. And here I put this in, and now it's actually writing a blog post based on all these different choices that we put in, the market segment, the people that I'm actually going after, and then it's incorporating that in with who I am and what my team is doing. And, you know, I've got my AIs trained and memorized a lot of this stuff, but I'm just showing how you can. It's now been about 8 minutes that we've been working on it, and we went from 8 minutes to getting all this great research. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to share it with everybody in a minute. Daniel, if you could put this in a blog, if you could just put this in a Word doc and then share everyone a link or, you know, however you choose to do it, that's fine. But that's something that I want everyone to see just how quickly and easily they could get this. Are there hallucinations? In other words, does AI make stuff up? Yes. Don't fuck up. Look at it. Look this stuff up and make sure that there's no typos. There's no excuse not to read. For the purpose of this meeting, I'm machine gunning through it fairly quickly because I want you to take a look at it. Okay, let me get you something a little bit more exciting for you because I think you're going to like that. Somebody put into the chat um, an address, any address that you want. It can be your address. I'm going to use the AI to look up data on that person. We're going to find out who they are, where they are, how much the home is worth, and in fact, make a drip campaign off of those people, off of that very individual property. Don't all type at once. Even Max, who's in Chicago, can do it. Elka, you're not out of this. Kenny, you're in California. Ingrid, you too. Okay, here we go. Thank you. So 394, I'm going to get both of you in a second. 394 NSA Rose Loop. Oh, Andy, help me out here. Ochi? Ochi?
Akoi.
Akoi. Okay. Guys, I promised I could show you AI. I didn't promise I could read. but let's take a look here. Okay, so now, by the way, it could fail too. I hope not. But I'm going to show you something very interesting in this. I'm going to go to what I've created a project, and I'll explain to you what projects are in a minute, within this technology called Claude, a competitor of ChatGPT. And I'm going to say, please look up in the tax records this home. Based on what you find, please return the uh, tax information, ownership, if available, and details about the area. Then, with the information you receive and the information you have about me, write a 5-email drip campaign with the best timing to send it out. How often? I'll just say that in parentheses. How often? Here's one that I love to add. If you understand what I am asking you to do, please execute my request. And let's take a look at what happens there. So now what's great about Claude, you actually get to watch it. It's searching the web. It's taking a look. We can see the results here. They're going through all these different tax records. It's trying to find it. Again, no guarantees here. It found something on Redfin. Okay, so, and Andy, you'll be able to help me out here. It's a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 3,195 square feet. It last sold in November. The current estimated value, it's giving us that. Gated community, approximately 150 single-family homes. And it didn't get the guy's name, unfortunately. But here we go. Email 1, market introduction and neighborhood. Send immediately, subject your Meadow Ridge home and current market insights. Hi, name. We still have to get the guy's name. We'll talk about that in a minute. Hope you're enjoying everything that Meadow Ridge has to offer. It's really one of the Ochi's hidden gems. I'm Edmund Bogen with Douglas Elliman, and I specialize in luxury communities throughout Central Florida. Again, it's fabricating that right now because I'm in South Florida, but that's fine. We'll make changes. I've been watching the Meadow Ridge market closely, and I thought you'd find it interesting to know that your neighborhood has seen some impressive appreciation over the past few years, with recent sales like 393 NSA Rose Loop closing at 670,000 in May of 2023. Again, I would change that. If you're curious about your home's current market position or circumstances, blah, blah, blah. So now it's given the first thing. Now this next one is talking about what's happening in the next 7 to 10 days, when the next email goes out, and so on and so forth. So it's really giving you step-by-step instructions on not just one, but all of these emails, as well as the instructions of when to actually send it out. Do I get a little bit of a, that's kind of cool, Ed?
Very cool.
A little bit?
Hey,
Domingos is so unimpressed. It's so
but
frustrating.
no, I'm impressed.
Okay, good.
Quick question.
Listen, Domingos, I've got a very weak self-esteem. I need to have a little bit of, I need an attaboy every now and then, okay?
Hey, I love it. I
Okay,
love
thank
it.
you.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
So we got contact and email information. You're going to get into that?
Okay, we're going to try. Again, keep in mind, anyone who tells you they're an expert in this is probably full of crap. And I'll just tell you why. This is something that just became available to us. So I love hearing that, oh, my school's going to be offering a 4-year degree in AI. Oh, come on. I could teach that course better than most. I know I can. They've not gotten the knowledge yet to be able to authoritatively say that they actually have that information. They just don't. But we are getting closer and closer to all of this. And I've got Scott Peck, who's on my call right now. He's my intern. The guy's a whiz kid here with AI. And he is helping me tap into what's called the APIs, which is Application Programming Interface. It's basically a doorway into another database to be able to extract that information. And as this stuff gets available, and it will, I guarantee it, and it will, this will get better and better and better. And by the way, this is totally the future of marketing within real estate. If you don't get on it, I'm sorry, you're going to be left behind. If you're a consultative salesman, as I am as well, by the way, I am walking the neighborhood, and I went to the gym this morning, and I get the dog out, and all the stuff that they tell you to do in real estate school, right? And Ingrid was nice enough to put this out on IMAP. You're right. We could go and look all the stuff. Well, because of the Freedom of Information Act, it's a blessing and a curse. The blessing is we have all this great information. The curse is everyone else has it too. So people are using that information for either good or very bad. But I want to make it very clear that you could certainly use it. And again, it's all in this workbook. So I highly suggest you download it. Questions? Anyone? 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 Okay. Let me just go back into something else that you could do with Claude. I could see the darn thing. Okay, we're going to start fresh here. Please look up top news in Boca Raton real estate. Please look up recent news in Boca Raton real estate, and return the most interesting stories. By the way, what I just did, don't do that. Most interesting is very subjective. I'm just doing it here quickly, but you could start coming up with other adjectives. It usually works very well when you do. So here it's going about, let's take a look. For the first time in several years, Boca Raton has transitioned from a seller's market to a buyer's market. Ingrid might have a couple things to say about that. I don't know. But as of May of 2025, the median home price rose slightly, up 2.6% year over year, but inventories also increased nearly 5% month over month with 2,682 homes, blah, 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 blah. So we could take this if we want to do something really simple, and I will take it to this other AI now, and I'll say, please take a look at what another AI had to say about Boca Raton real estate and see if you can expand upon it. And I'm going to put this in now. Oops. And so now Claude is going to take what was actually given to it. You'll see that it's going to go on a little search. It's going to try and get a little bit more specific. And because it knows I'm in St. Andrews Country Club, take a look at this. It's going to give my St. Andrews Country Club expertise. I'm going to explain why it's doing that in just a moment. But the data confirms significant market shift, and it's going to talk about your AI's assessment is accurate. Boca Raton is indeed. Okay, so now it's saying all this great stuff. Great. Now I'm going to do three things here. I'm going to say, please write a blog post, a Facebook post with emojis, because I know Ingrid likes emojis, and a script for my AI avatar called A period, I period, Ed to read. Please, no visual direction, just script. The script needs to be less than 45 seconds in length. Any other social media? Oh, also, finally, we'll give one more. Make a post appropriate for LinkedIn. Actually, I'm going to not do finally right there. I'm going to do make a post appropriate for LinkedIn. And finally, based on what you wrote, please describe an image that I can have Mid-Journey. Mid-Journey is another AI um, create based on this content. Again, if I was doing it slowly, I would have taken time to do it a little bit better, but right now you're getting this. Great. Boca Raton's historic shift. What luxury buyers and sellers need to know. So here, you may or may not want to post this. The data is the data. Sometimes we don't like the data, and sometimes the data doesn't serve our purpose. Here, once again, it went to the Country Club Advantage, so this has clearly been programmed for me. Again, I will tell you about that next. Here's the Facebook post with Ingrid's emojis. So this is something that we could put up. Here's AI Ed's script. Hey, it's AI Ed with your Boca Raton market update. For the first time in years, we've shifted to a buyer's market. Great. Now we've got our LinkedIn post here as well. And the mid-journey description. And just for the sake of showing you what happens there, all of this is in the chat in the book, by the way. So please, please, please do download it. I'm going to take this here. This is for another meeting, by the way, but I'm going to show you. Oop, what happened? Okay, let's see if we can do it in ChatGPT. We'll do it as well. Please generate an image. Let's see if he'll do it. That's the other thing about AI. There's always a workaround. So if one thing doesn't work, you could oftentimes jump into something else. Let's just give it a second here. And guys, while it's propagating, you could ask questions. Not terribly exciting watching it propagate.
So Ed,
Sure.
how do we know when to use Claude versus Perplexity? I
Good
mean,
question.
are there certain functions that each one of them is like more adaptable to?
Yes, I think right now I found, and I want to say this with the condition that you appreciate, it's a moving target. I might have a very different answer for you next week. But today, right now, I find the best way to work is to have Perplexity do your research and have Claude and other AIs deliver some follow-up to that research, if you will. Like, imagine you, me, and Ingrid go out to lunch. And I look at you and I say, hey, Ingrid and Domingos are husband and wife. And for those of you who don't know, Ingrid's my broker. She's the greatest broker in the whole country, and you can't have her. She's mine and Domingos's. Okay, so that's great. And, let's say the three of us actually had lunch. And we all were interjecting our opinion about the market. Well, 85% of the houses aren't selling, God forbid. But that comes up. We can't argue about that, but we can argue our opinion about things. That's the same thing with AI. And as we begin to get into what they're calling agentic AI, an AI agent or an AI employee, as some people are calling them, you're going to see that it's better to balance the opinion of multiple AIs, and then you could decide for yourself. There's some agents that cold call all day long. I'd shoot myself in the head. I couldn't just cold call all day long, but there are guys that make $1 million a year plus doing it. God bless them. That's great. We've got agents. I don't think she's here now. She said she did 125 deals that were no more than $350,000. That's a great business model if it works for you. Just not what I do. So I think it's important to recognize that these are the changes. Let's take okay, here we go. So based on what was described, this is what the AI came up with. Let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger. So that's the image that it generated. It said Boca Raton and showed this. I'm not really nuts about this image at all. I would do something else. But the point that I want you to take away from it is that you could have content. I can see why it made it. It says for sale, so that's saying that it's sold. If you look closely here, I don't know if you can see it on your computer screen. They've got charts or graphs going on here. But I would do it again. You know, I would do it again. But Ed, wasn't that the whole idea behind the AI? Remember, from the get-go, I never promised it was going to get it perfect. What I'm promising is that it is significantly better to be able to work with somebody in this manner. Ingrid says to me to write that I should blog a little bit more. Ingrid, how'd you like the blog? It didn't work so well for me. It happens. It's not a symptom of a disease. If you're lucky enough to have someone leading your offices that can give you that kind of advice, don't push back. You may or may not agree with it, but learn from it and go on. AI is the same thing. So if you start to look at it that way, I think you're going to have a much, much better time at it. I think that we're going to be doing it. One other thing that I promised, and I don't want to forget, and I forget everything these days, so I'd rather not, but I want to show you why, what goes into Claude and one of the things that I love about it. And Domingos, I think this gets back to what you were asking. Domingos, in Claude, they have something called projects. And in projects, I've got my wife has an organizing business, so I've got Palm Beach proposals and invoices, a project for that. I downloaded the complete guide to persuasive copywriting. I really like that. I use that to create Email Central. And within Email Central, you could take a look. I'll try and zoom in on it a little bit for you. You could upload project knowledge into this database. So just imagine for a second that it has a little bit of understanding about St. Andrew's Country Club. You can't really see the data very well, but it gives information that I'd like as an email sent to the members of the club. And it knows when I say I'm making an email or a message to a member, it will do this. About my real estate coaching, it has here my partner review. Well, Aton, one of my dearest friends and business partner in this, he's mentioned here, and it mentions some business context. It gives the AI an understanding of who you are. We could take a look at another one here. My marketing project. In here, I've got exactly what we're doing as a team to try and market ourselves. And now I'll show you the one that you should concern yourselves with the most, and that is St. Andrew's Comps. Okay. St. Andrew's Comps. I live and work in the beautiful St. Andrew's Country Club. 728 of the most magnificent homes in all of South Florida. And if you want to buy or sell any of them, please call me. There, I'm glad I got that off my chest. So we go in here, and what did I put into here? Let's take a look. This is literally a data dump. Let me try and zoom in here. So these were the homes that were closed, the location, the MLS number, all sorts of stuff on there that you don't really see or know that much about. Here's some information about St. Andrew's Country Club. It gives, again, context. Here's some information about me and my team, our bios, and what's going on with all that. And now, if I take a look here, I could say, please look up 17651, that's a neighbor of mine, Foxborough Lane, on the in the tax records. And based upon what you retrieve, okay, and based upon what you retrieve, please use the information and comps and appropriate, sorry guys, I can't spell today, comps to create a CMA email that I can send to the homeowner. Okay, so now if it works right, and again, I do this all in real time. So when there's mistakes, I make no excuses for it. It happens. But I would argue that this is the fastest CMA you've ever seen. So it's getting this, it has the tax records, it's fetching it from Palm Beach property appraisers. Now it's going to do the CMA. It's going through a little JavaScript here because I'm a nerd and I love code. And it shows that it's actually making some appropriate comparisons based on size and dollar amount. And again, it's going to go through this for quite a bit. And here we go. Comprehensive market analysis for 17651 Foxborough Lane. Dear homeowner, I hope this email finds you well. As one of the most active real estate professionals specializing in St. Andrew's Country Club, I wanted to share an exclusive market analysis for your beautiful home at 17651 Foxborough Lane. So it gives the current market snapshot. Again, I don't need to read all this. And then here it gives some of the comps. and the average sales price, the median sales price, the price per square foot, average days on market, and it goes on with all this. Let me just see what they said about the price. And maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Okay, let's just see. Based on this, can you give a sales price range as A, quick sale, B, normal sale, and C, aggressively priced. I don't know, I got a spelling thing there, but that's fine. Okay. So now it's going to go back out and take a look at that data. And you're going to actually watch it iterate through this and make changes. While it does that, I want to be very clear. This is not excuse not to work. We're not at full agentic AI just yet. We're getting there. And when we do, it's going to be Eitan and I that's going to present it to you guys as software as a service. I'm telling you, we're going to crack the code and it's going to be great for everybody. But right now, there's no excuse not to work. I want to be 100% clear about that. This is just the incredible boost that all of us really need. And whether you're selling real estate or doing anything else, it's really great to be able to get this analysis. Also, I want to talk about the time that it took for me to set this up. I had to go to the MLS, my MLS, and get the data about that's specific in here, and I put it in for 2024. Well, guess what? It's now June 6th. I better sure as hell have updated this, or my neighbor Bobby is going to be pissed off if I tell her that it's going to be, more expensive or less expensive than it really is, or any one of you for that matter. We need to be able to. You're only as good as the data that goes in here. So I want you to step away from thinking about this as Google, as something that you immediately get the answer and you move on. This is an employee that you are working with. And if you could start to approach it from that standpoint, you're going to win. Let's go back to this guy and take a look at what might have come up here. Okay, so it gives all these different prices, average sales price, median price, price range. Okay, that's all the price ranges. And I'm trying to see next steps. Maybe I'm missing it from here somewhere. Recent comparable closings. Well, this one certainly wouldn't have been. What should the seller price the home at? Again, working back and forth. Recommended listing price, 2,599,000. So it gives you just below 2.6 psychological barrier, $743 per square foot. It's priced between two recent sales. Now, here's the thing. What it's not accounting for right now, it abuts the Florida Turnpike. The Florida Turnpike sucks. Everyone knows the Florida Turnpike sucks. Okay, well, Kenny's nodding. I don't know how you know. You're out in California, but it's and I live by the Florida Turnpike as well. It's one of those things. That if I was on Ayrshire Lane, $2 million higher my price property of my home. I'm not, except that it's a reality. But when you start to realize this, is there a better way? You're going to now, from a marketing and a business standpoint, be able to crank these things out. Here's what I want you to do to help you along. I want you to commit to making at least one CMA a day. Make at least one a day. There's no excuse not to. My team is off doing their stuff right now. There is no excuse not to, that you go out and you find the information and you get this out to the folks. And if you want to work on setting up drip campaigns and you want to talk about that with me, we could certainly chat about it. But create one CMA a day and you will be amazed at what you actually come up with. You could also find out by going into some of these properties who the actual owner is. Now, we haven't had any luck right now. It's more prominent in places like Palm Beach, where there's people with lots of zeros after their bank account. But where they have some very big profiles. But you could actually look up the profile of the person. Dear Ingrid, because you're a boater and because you love the Caribbean or love the Keys, I think you might be interested in this particular property. We could go after buyers as much as you might want to go after sellers. Wouldn't it be great if you received that and you said, okay, wait a minute, it's a cold email, but this guy really did some research on me. This is something that this person really thought about. Let's say you're not in real estate. Let's say you're in some other type of sales business, or you're just doing some type of market research. Let's say you are a newscaster, or let's say you're doing something in sports. You could use this in the same methodology. And Daniel, if you don't mind putting the download back out, there are a couple people who joined. Bobby, welcome. In the chat, there's going to be a PDF that you could download, which is a workbook that I highly suggest you take a quick peek at. Okay, questions so far. I know I'm machine gunning a lot at you. This is really just scratching the surface, but I want you to get jazzed by all of the opportunity that there really truly is in these technologies, that you really do have an opportunity now to do things that you never thought you would be able to do. You could even role play with the AI and make this you could say the seller is a complete prick. Be that way. Role play with me as if you're that person. And that way we're going to be able to argue this out, or this person recently lost a loved one. Write a very sensitive message if you're going after that kind of business. Personally, somebody went after my mom's uh, co-op in New York. A bunch of people did when she died. It's not the way I like to do business, but I'd be a liar if I said it doesn't work. It does work for those of you who are willing to go down that route. It's not my style, but if it's something that you want to do, everything about this meeting is that you could use what we learn here today, take it away, and immediately put it into practice to make money. There are forums out there that talk about realtor safety. God bless them. It's a fabulous thing. You really need to be safe. God, we really need to be safe today more than ever. But it's just not what I do. What we're doing here is really trying to figure out what you need to do. Okay, Elka, did you have your hand up? You got to unmute there.
Yes.
You can tell everyone who you are and where you are, please.
Okay, Elke, and I'm with the Boca office, also with Ingrid.
With Douglas Elliman and Boca Raton. Sure.
Yes. I have two questions, actually. What you're showing us today, Claude Perplexity, do you pay extra or is it free? And my second question, so you can answer,
Okay.
is do you still use Chat GPT at all or not?
Yes. I was talking about this with my wife before. I look at my monthly bills and I realize I'm being bitten to death by a duck. I've got so many tiny little bills coming in, so many subscriptions, so many. So yes, I do subscribe to it, but my motivation might be different than yours because I lecture about this all the time and I use it all the time. I'll also say this, the $20 a month for Claude, the $20 a month for ChatGPT, the money that I'm spending on Otter, which is recording this meeting right now and making a perfect transcript. I mean, I could show you what we do with these transcripts. Um, all of that is it's a bargain. I mean, the Otter is $150 a year. The Chat GPT is $20, $30 a month. The Claude is $20, $30 a month. The Perplexity is $20 a month. I mean, how much should I just throw out there? $100? At the end of the day, if you were advertising on Zillow, you spent a lot more than that. And if you're contemplating hiring people to be your assistant, which I still think is important, this is not completely replacing people yet, especially if they enable themselves to embrace AI and to actually understand it. My daughter, my youngest daughter, wants to be a journalist. I'm very concerned for her. She needs to embrace AI because while she probably can become a great journalist. Kid had a 4.18 cumulative grade point average, much smarter than an old man, I assure you. But the kid has got to recognize that once upon a time, as they said in the movie Other People's Money, there were buggy whip factories around here that made whips for your buggy to whip the horse. Okay. And now they're all out of business because it's obsolete. A lot of things are becoming obsolete. I don't think journalists are obsolete yet. I think that if you don't know AI and if you're not working on that and trying to write 4 times the number of articles using that as an assist, I think in the very near future, you're going to have an issue. And I think the stats are behind me to kind of prove that. If you are a coder, if you write code, I'm learning code right now and I'm writing programs with the help of people like Scott and people like Aton and not the least of which AI. And we're doing stuff today that my ideas were good enough to get the CEO of Douglas Elliman, Florida to say, you really ought to meet with the guys in California. And I went there and I did when I went to see Chloe, who's also on the call right now. Hi, Chloe. I guess she's driving now. So I think all of this is something that you just need to recognize that if you take one thing away from this meeting is A, be that kid that took the toaster apart, you know, the kid that went home and his mom had a toaster and he took it apart or she took it apart just to figure out what's going on with the toaster. Be that kid that tinkers just a little bit and see how does this resonate with you and your business. I just, everyone knows I'm a gated community and country club expert. You might be focusing on something entirely different. It could be an entirely different business. So that's pretty much one of the other questions here. Okay, Kenny, please tell everyone who you are and where you
Hi,
are to Karina.
Kenny Bellini, just outside Los Angeles,
Great,
in the mountains right now. Most of my business on the west side.
great.
Happen to be doing a deal up in Marin County right now. But I had the question is like for Claude, the project. So when you're doing your CMA, or you're loading all your data from the MLS into projects, because I haven't used projects here now. So how are you setting that up?
Yes, it's a very good question. So when you're going into projects in Claude, and I could show you just briefly where this is. I don't know how your MLS works in Los Angeles, but I would imagine it works fairly similar to ours. You would go up to Claude. Well, let's start right from the beginning. Once you're logged into Claude, there's something here called projects. You click on projects, and over here you see it says new project. Kenny?
Yeah,
Do that? Okay.
got it.
So I'd click on that and we would name whatever you want to name the project as. We can name it as test project. And if I wanted to describe it, this is more for, it doesn't really matter what, I don't need to, this is an option. So I could create the project now. Great. The project's now been created. Here, they've got a section that says set project instructions. And I will go nuts with what I want it specifically to do for that particular project. You see, right now, imagine just ChatGPT, but just for a particular aspect of your life. Let's say you're involved in the Christian Children's Fund or the American Friends of the Hebrew University or something for animals or whatever you may be passionate about, you could have that focused in that project. Let's say you want to focus just on a particular building, Kenny, or a particular, I know that is that your wife, by the way?
Yeah, this is Izumi. Hi.
Nice to meet you. I've heard Kenny speaks of you all the time. I'm good. We're gonna have family day at some point where everyone brings their family. I think that's very sweet. Um, nice to meet you as well. I hope to see you in person my next trip out to California. But you start to personalize it, and then through trial and error, you will learn. When I went to see my nephew in Chicago, he worked for Wilson Labs, which Wilson tennis rackets, and they make all sorts of they design the new technology in tennis and all sorts of sports. And there was a great quote on the wall that said, "Without risk, innovation is impossible." I'm probably paraphrasing it wrong. I wish I wasn't, but it really stuck with me because you need to experiment. You need to screw up. There's only one way to actually go through this. People say, God, Ed, you know so much about it. There was no college, there was no nothing. It's just something that I'm passionate about. And I'm also passionate about bringing this information to you. Okay, Karina, you've been very patient here. I got your mid bite.
Hi.
Is that the hate when that happens?
Um, so which one do you prefer, ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity? And is there a big difference between the paid versions and the free versions?
You know, the answer is there is. It certainly gets Claude in particular. I think Aton has a lot to say about that. He feels that the free
Huge
version of
difference.
Claude, huge difference. So he says the free version of Claude is not nearly as good as the paid version. ChatGPT, again, I spend your money very carefully. Just begin to use the stuff, the free version, then pay for 1 month. And if it sucks, go back to the free version. I mean, that's one of the nice things about all of these things. That
If
is
I,
that you could.
if I was to start one paid one, ChatGPT or Claude, which one would you recommend I start with the paid?
Knowing what I said from the beginning and that it's a moving target for
Right?
you right now. Okay, Aton, go ahead. What would you say?
I think ChatGPT would be better because it has the voice and you can talk to it, which is very convenient. Claude doesn't have that. So
Okay.
when you begin to use AI and you want to talk to it, ChatGPT probably would do us very good.
Okay.
Then maybe if you want to do more sophisticated stuff, Claude could be probably more advanced.
Awesome. Thank you.
And Eitan, just for the sake, because I know I've had people in here who like Portugal. You want to just tell everyone where you are and what you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm right now in Luxembourg. So,
Oh, okay. Well,
but I live in Lisbon, and I'm a realtor there, broker, and I just started my own agency. So send me referrals.
yeah. And you've got a hunting farm.
Yes, yes.
Sell
So
that
my
yet?
wife manages 1,000 hectares of wild game
Farms. Yeah, I was
hunting,
trying to sell it.
and it's offered for sale for 10 million euros. So it
Okay.
comes with an 11-room estate.
So if anybody knows anyone who likes to kill things and wants something that big, then that's great.
And we have about 500 deer and 300 wild boar and many other different animals, and
Yeah.
fish and birds and rabbits.
And do you
And
have
it's
like deer's head on the wall? You know, it's beautiful. So you just like killed it and put its head on the wall. I love that whole thing. I think
yeah, yeah, we have that all over the hunting lodge.
does it have
And
streamers and balloons? I mean, obviously the thing was killed at a party, right? You know, it's like
and it's all set in a cork forest. So I don't know if you know cork trees, but yeah, it's lovely,
okay.
beautiful.
Quick commercial pitch here. Our next meeting is going to be Wednesday, the 11th. I'm flying right out of here after that. It's the outsourcing advantage. Daniel, just raise your hand and go like this wildly. Okay, there's Daniel. Daniel is actually in Canada right now. He normally is in the Philippines. He hates when I out him publicly, but I think he's just a wonderful guy. He's worked for me remotely for 6 years. We have a great relationship. Managing someone that way will test your ability as a manager and your ability to understand cultural barriers um, as well as the management skills to be able to make it work, as well as expectations. That's what the meeting is going to be about next Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Then our following meeting won't be until not the following Wednesday, the Wednesday after that, because I am going to be traveling. I will be in Israel. And so, unfortunately, we will. This is I think, who was the famous baseball player that went 10 years without missing a meeting, without missing a game? How come I can't think of it? Well, that was me. Anyway, everyone is entitled to a vacation, so I will be doing that. And if you guys have ideas for other topics, please let me know. I really do want to do it. Andy Neal is here probably in not this quarter, but in September. Andy, if you'll be willing to do it. Andy's built the majority of his business on absentee owners, and he's got a great methodology for going about doing this. We had not one, not two, but I think three meetings with him. You could see that in the video archive of him explaining how he goes about marketing to those people. We've got somebody else coming in who focuses on divorce, death, divorce, and financial ruin. I know these are terribly optimistic topics here, but these are different methodologies that people have gone about and working. I don't endorse any one of these things. I just want to present the ideas to you so you could expand the universe of possibility and become the best person that you could possibly be. And we've got a lot of non-real estate topics as well that I think it's important for you guys to see that will be coming up. And I hope that all of you take a part of it. Okay, now we're really running late here. Wants, needs, and brags. Now's the time in the meeting to talk about what you want, what you need, and what you'd like to brag about. I've already bragged that I'm taking a big vacation next week. I'm excited about that. And I think I'm getting a price reduction on one of my big listings, which I'm really happy about that too. Who else?
Do you have anything to brag about?
Kenny? Kenny, you
Oh,
got
I just
something to
think,
brag
well,
about?
there, AI located that quote, it's without risk, innovation is impossible. So,
Okay, thank you.
no, I have a house in escrow up in the Marin County, not on the market, referral. The person living in it's buying it. Client moved to Costa Rica, so
Sure.
kind of out of the area. So,
That's great. I love it. And everybody get to know, call Kenny. He's a wonderful guy. You know, for those of you who don't like making the sales calls, call each other. This is, you know, I have a colleague of mine. It's not the same anymore for her because she's focusing on farming, but 35% of her business, and I want to stress she's a profitable agent. 35% of her business came from other agents. Okay. How would you like that? So if you really stop and want to expand the universe, so a great thing for you to do if you are on the shy end, it's a very dangerous thing to be when you're in sales. Call other agents. Call Kenny. I promise you, he won't hang up. He's a great guy. The devil would like Kenny. It's been proven. Scientists from NASA got together and they said it's absolutely impossible to dislike Kenny Bellini. It's not possible. So call him. Call Aton. He's annoying, but he's just one of my best friends. So that's what I would still call him. And Daniel, you have the map handy. If you could put that up, and I'm going to show you this as well. We're going to be changing this a little bit.
Yeah, real quick, was the baseball player Johnny Damon?
Huh?
Was the baseball player Johnny Damon?
Who's the baseball player?
You said about a baseball player. Was it Johnny Damon?
When
The
did
one
this-
that never missed a game.
No. Oh, sorry. It was no.
I just asked because Johnny's my friend. I was with him yesterday.
No, I don't know. I'll figure it out in a little bit. His coach even said, "Look, you could go into the game," but he was in such agony he couldn't play, and it was like 12 years of not missing a baseball game. I forgot the story. Daniel, right now,
Cal Ripken.
Cal Ripken. Thank you. Okay, Cal Ripken. So Cal Ripken was the most
2,632 consecutive games.
he what?
2,632 games straight, never missing a game.
Okay, so you see, there's a man that's using AI. So,
Yeah.
so Daniel, can you find it? He's still looking. This poor guy's suffering here. We have a map that we have for all of you with all the people who are associated with this group. And up there we go. Hold on, I'll share it with you in a second here. So for those of you who are new, it's kind of a nice thing. And we don't update this enough because we don't hear from you enough. Oh, look, there's Aton all the way in Portugal. Handsome guy. You know, you want to get somebody in Utah, we've got there. We've got people, all over the place. So if you're looking for other agents in other areas, or if you're looking, there's Kenny. Hey. So if you're looking for people to actually meet, again, we've expanded beyond real estate. We've really just started with real estate. We've got other people who are just entrepreneurs who are now in this group. But we're going to be expanding upon that further. I do believe that it's a great opportunity to try and meet, network. All of you are trying to do the same thing. This is a great forum for you to do it. Okay, anyone else wants to use the brags? Bobby, Karina, Babette, Sherry Young, Chloe. Chloe, you gonna be silent on me here? She's probably driving. Anyone? Ferris Bueller?
I have a quick question. When will this be uploaded so I can rewatch it? I had to take a quick call, so I missed some stuff.
Good news is we have. I just muted you, Daniel. We've got Wednesday's meeting already uploaded on YouTube. Daniel, can you just give the link on here, and we will be uploading this one as well. Wednesday's meeting was this is a repeat of Wednesday's meeting. It's a little bit different. All these meetings are a little, but Andy was here. Andy was there on Wednesday, I think, as well. And Aton and everyone else. So yes, we will get that for you, Lavette.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. Okay, who else? No? Nobody? Okay. Listen, guys, it's great to see everyone. Bobby, welcome. Karina, good to see you. I'm so delighted to have you. And if you have any ideas, if you can make it next Wednesday, 9 a.m., please look for the invites. If you want to talk about the larger services that we're offering as far as consulting and working AI and marketing services into your business, please do give me a buzz. If not, I do look forward to seeing all of you for another exciting episode of Rain Nation. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Ed.
Thanks as always, Edmund.
Okay, always good. Always good. Okay, take care.